Inquisitor Smythe of the Order of Xenos, logging transcript from the day's interrogation aboard the Inquisitorial Incarceration flagship, Mittelark. A retelling of how the Xenos converted its following. Its war, as it likes to say. Before space had stars, and before time had begun, there were three brothers. You know Gork, and you know Mork. One of them likes crumping, one of them likes sneaking. Some say that Gork and Mork used to be nothing more than you and I. An orc with a little something extra. A boy, then a knob, then a boss, then a god. Of course, any orc saying that outside of this here little gathering will end up swimming with the squigs, won't he? Now, when Mork saw a proper good ruck, he knew that he could win and prove he was the strongest by crumping them. And when Gork saw a proper good ruck, he knew that he could win and prove he was the strongest by sneaking them. Or maybe they were the other way round. No one could quite remember. But there's another, one that is remembered by few. This memory comes to those who separate themselves and become individuals. Because you see, alongside Mork and Gork, there was another. One who saw things differently. When this one saw a proper good ruck, he could have hit it till he won, or he could have sneaked it till he won. But this one, he used... Well, it's too crazy to tell you what he did. You wouldn't believe me. At this point, the torture mechadendrites were applied until the Xenos continued talking. Inquisitorial note, torture mechadendrites were ineffective. That's what I would tell the boys that would listen. But you don't need what they heard. You want your own story, don't you, Ooman? See, this one, this god, he saw things differently. He saw a fight, and his hand would twitch on the non-existent throttle. His mind would pulse with barely restrained power, but most of all, his tongue would writhe with unknown words. Once he was done, the ruck would be won, and he would have gained a new son, but he wasn't one to give up the fun, so he'd pick up his gun, tell everyone to run, but soon there'd be none. The Xenos had clearly become stuck in a looping speech pattern, and the torture mechadendrites were once more applied. Inquisitorial note, torture mechadendrites were ineffective. Again. Thank you, little one. Sometimes my god tries to take control. Among your kind, do you have compulsions? Those spawned with innate knowledge of their desires? You're not very talkative. It's a shame. Well, my kind does. A boy can be spawned and within a week know how to assemble this entire ship you are keeping me prisoner in. Or maybe he will know the arts of stealth and camouflage that would take one of your kind decades to learn. These are our compulsions. This third god, he is strong, but he is not as strong as Gork and Mork combined, and so he is not known. He was the outcast of the three, and his methods seemed too powerful. All weak things fear power. So Gork and Mork combined to banish him. The god that fought with speed and knowledge and words was lost to our kind. But he never left us. We just couldn't hear him. But I discovered the truth. I found him. There was a great big proper fight and I lost. It hurt, but the fight was good, and as a boy, that was all I wanted. It was a good death. A fun death. What more could I ask for? Well, the death was a slow one. Enough of my body lost that I couldn't regenerate, but not enough that I would die on the first day lying on that crater-scarred battlefield. Nor the second. I could feel the others leaving me by the third. By the fifth day, I was alone. Not a single other of my kind was left alive on the planet. On the 6th day, my race had entered the warp and they were lost to me. Then I waited, but I would not die. I lived by eating the dead that were piled up around me. Eventually, the spores released from my own death blow began to grow, and I ate the sprouting fungus. My counting wasn't what it is now, so I lost track of days. But after my wounds had sealed, and the threat of death had passed, and I had grown fat and dull from inactivity, my god appeared. At first, I thought it was Gork, but I was not Crumped. Then I thought it was Mork, but I did not feel a rusted blade to my throat. It introduced itself to me as the third god, Torque. If I hadn't been so stupid, I would have guessed its name, because when it appeared to me, it did just that. Talked. It told me its plan and asked if I wanted to be his first prophet in 20,000 years. As you have guessed, I agreed. He gave me his gifts and compulsions. With a snap of his great fingers, I could talk like this, and I could think so fast my thoughts took on a life of their own, able to lash out and control the world around me, and he made me want to go fast, faster than any orc had ever gone before. So, he gave me his command. Seek out the runt herders and the weird boys and the speed freaks and build a war like this galaxy has never seen. But keep it hidden, for it is not time to unleash it yet. Gork and Mork still want the great Torque gone. It took me decades, but I finally built my god's war, and I hid it somewhere no one could find it. No orc, at least. On the day of my plan's completion, Torque came to me again and told me no plan had a single task. It told me that more was to come before the fastest, brainiest, talkiest war of all time could be unleashed. And here you find me, little one. Phase 2 of the plan. Unimaginative propaganda from this Xenos, of course, and I don't believe a word of what it says. The Xenos heresy against our God Emperor has been noted, and assassination orders against any Xenos referring to themselves as godlike beings under the name of Mork, Gork, or this new edition Torque have been sent to the Officio Assassinorum. Despite this being one of the Xenos' most talkative sessions, it is still yet to confess exactly why it surrendered itself to me. Xenos treachery is presumed, especially from one of its prodigious size. I shall return tomorrow. Inquisitor Smythe of the Ordo Xenos, aboard the Inquisitorial Incarceration Flagship Metalark, signing off.